Welcome to the Wolf and Bull Podcast. I am your friendly neighborhood wolf, and with me I have my lovely, my charming, my suave co-host.
Charming? Did you say charming?
I did say charming, yeah. The sound gets worse and worse every
the
time we
cowbells?
play. Yeah, I need to
I think we do need to graduate from the cowbell.
moo.
Or we just need more cowbell.
Moo.
More cowbell.
Yeah, definitely. And additionally, we also have our resident Jamie. Oh, God. Beowulf over here. She is Irish. She is also lovely and
Hi.
also suave. Is that cross-gender applicable? Suave?
Suave?
Suave? I would assume so. No?
Yeah.
Suave? I've
Happy
never
to
heard
be
it.
back.
Suave.
Suave?
I
Yeah.
haven't been on in a while. You guys have had so many guests.
We have been all over the
we
place, and we've had a lot of stuff going on. As I've said
have.
every episode, I'm going to stop saying it. We're busy.
Bull
and
jumped
everyone
over the
is.
moon recently.
What? Really? When?
That's an old... You've heard about the cow jumping over the moon?
Yeah, no.
Bull.
Well,
Come on.
very
Come
tired puns aside. If you happen to be someone looking for a podcast with captivating conversations, current events, laughs, or a thought-provoking listen, you have found the right place. If you would like to be a part of the Wolf and Bull family, then you can find all of our updates on Instagram via the Wolf and Bull, and you can also find us on YouTube and Rumble via the Wolf and Bull. Additionally, this episode is brought to you by Americano Ammunition Coffee, serving true American patriots the means to defend their freedom, one caffeinated caliber at a time. Make sure to visit their website, ammoandcoffee.com, and grab yourself a bag of their coffee beans or visit their shop in Queen Creek, Arizona. Make sure to mention the Wolf and Bull, and you will receive 25% off of your order.
I just saw they are releasing a special edition peach.
Oh,
coffee.
Oh, really?
Really?
Peach?
You know
That's
that-
going to be interesting.
Well, you know that viral song right now from the Mario movie, the Mario Brothers movie? And it's
Jack Black?
It's Jack Black singing about peaches.
Pizza!
Yeah. So they posted on their Instagram
Peaches.
with that song, and I went, "Oh, I saw that just like an hour or two ago."
nice.
Very nice. Yeah. Well,
So
we'll
go try
make
it.
sure to link all of their information in the content, as well as there will be some blurb. It's probably already here in front of me magically.
So I think the
in front of me
Wolf and
about
Bull family should be termed as the herd pack or pack herd. Packard?
Packard.
Hewlett Packard? HP?
Wolf pack?
You know what that reminds me of when you say Packard?
Bull herd?
Isn't that the name of Michael Scott's, of
Packard.
the guy from The Office,
Yeah, it
who's
is.
like the traveling salesman?
Yeah.
Packard?
Pack?
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
that's right. Who was a hilarious character
Yeah, it
amongst all those characters.
So how's everyone doing? You've jumped over the moon.
Yes. I jumped over the moon, and apparently there are things on the other side of the moon that nobody knew was there, but I saw them.
Yeah.
I saw them all.
Yeah.
But
My
really, what is
night
on the other
vision.
side of the moon?
The other side of the
Just
moon.
A bunch of
Yeah.
pock marks
Just-
is what's there.
yeah, just more
giant
craters.
asteroid craters is what's
No,
there.
we have pictures of that, don't we?
Yeah, the James Webb.
Yeah.
James Webb to some
Yeah.
pretty incredible ones. Yeah. Recently.
I need to look
actually.
those up because I
You
want to
should.
see them.
Yeah. How are you, Beowulf? Good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
good.
not a Transformer
yes.
or anything up there?
Did you see the new Transformer movie that's coming out?
Oh, God.
What, like Tame the Beast or something, whatever it's called?
Transformer animals or something? I didn't see
yeah,
a bull
something
there.
about
I'm pretty sure they have
animals.
a wolf, but no bull. So
No.
I ain't going to watch if they're not going to have a
You know
bull.
what my question was? In the preview for that movie, we saw a trailer for it. One of the robots is like anatomically female, has hips and like a chest and everything, one of the Transformers. And I was watching it and I was like, why though? Why? They're from
Wouldn't-
another world, right?
Aren't Transformers supposed to have multiple genders?
I was watching it and I was like,
Wait a
they-
second.
They're machines. They can...
yeah, it had hips.
Wait.
And
Hold
I
it,
was like,
aren't
what's
they-
the reason for the hips?
The Transformers are
Transformers.
not the replicants. I thought the replicants were the... Isn't that the bad guys in Transformers?
No, the
Decepticons?
Decepticons.
Oh, damn.
Decepticons.
Where did I hear replicants from? Is that from something else?
No, you're thinking
don't
Some
know.
other
replicants
crazy
is from
ass
something
movie.
else. Yeah,
Yes.
but you're thinking of it's the Decepticons and the Autobots. Autobots.
Fracking,
way too much.
Cylons.
Yeah,
You know-
I'm a nerd.
I like that. That
Battlestar
was good. That
Galactica.
was going way
Those are
back.
dorks, nerds.
Oh, I love that.
I'm
That's
glad
such
you
a
guys.
great series.
I'm glad you guys are doing well. I'm
Yes.
glad you're doing well.
How are you?
Yes. How
I'm
are
doing
you?
okay. I'm doing really well. You know, just living life, doing things, excited about, we're doing a little bit different strategy here with the Wolf and Bull, if you've noticed anything. And also, wait. Whiskey. That was pretty
Whiskey
good.
review, huh?
Whiskey review,
Okay,
yes.
what's the whiskey?
The whiskey today, if I could get to it, and this is the initiation episode, the initiation segment of the whiskey review, the unceremoniously ceremonial whiskey review of Wolf and Bull podcast. The whiskey that we are reviewing today, and shout out to our friend.
What is the whiskey we are reviewing
Ah,
today?
yes, good thing you asked. Doth you ask?
Whiskage.
Well, shouteth outeth to our friend Sean, who gave us this wonderful idea over a beautiful cigar and a wonderful whiskey. The whiskey that we will be reviewing for episode 1 of the segment of episode 90 of the Wolf and Bull podcast is called Rare Perfection 15 Year from Preservation Distillery, which is located in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Ooh, a lot of writing there.
We're talking bourbon.
A lot of writing.
Huh?
Well,
Bardstown.
there is a qualifier
okay.
with that. So, interestingly, a little background about this whiskey. And if you want to check it out, you can go to preservationdistillery.com. This is per their website. A rare bottling of superior vintage whiskey is enhanced by the use of a 4-grain corn, wheat, rye, and malted barley bourbon mash bill, which was then barreled in freshly charred oak barrels and exposed to prolonged cold storage, aging in a low-rise warehouse in northern Canada, eh?
Oh,
You know,
The heck?
I love that. That sounds like some marketing genius came together and put this thing together in such a way. And you know how they probably put this together in the first place? They threw a bunch of stuff in a giant barrel and let it ferment, and then somebody said,
I'm going to taste it.
"Hey, get Billy Bob over
Well,
here.
no, it would be no.
Get him over here.
No,
We're going to have him test this stuff right here.
This is Canada. Hey,
Oh,
Bill.
yeah, I got the wrong.
Go ahead and bring over Steven down the street there. Hey, you got Steven from the poutine parties we do every Tuesday. Go ahead and bring him down. We're gonna go ahead and watch some good old Hosiers play on the tube and drink some of this whiskey.
You're allowed to do that just because you.
I lived in
you
Minnesota
lived
for
in
10 years,
Minnesota
yeah.
for a
I
real-
was going to say that was actually
the closest thing to a
poutine
Canadian accent
party.
in the
That
United
was
States.
Poutine
that's
party.
exactly what they have on it.
Big old peepees everywhere.
A giant a what? What?
Poutine party.
Poutine.
Oh, a peepee.
I missed with that
A
one.
peepee. They throw
They're all
poutine parties.
They're all out in the ice shanty in
Yeah.
the middle of the lake, freezing to death, going.
I
Little
should.
barrel of
Barrel
juice.
of mash.
You want to
Yeah.
drink it?
Well, I should be careful because my interpretation, or I guess not my interpretation, my appropriation of the Canadians is to sound like someone from Strange Brew. Shout out Strange Brew podcast. The actual
Yes.
movie though, Strange Brew. Who was in that movie? Do you remember? Guy from Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
That, the little dude, right?
glasses. Yeah,
That shrunk.
yeah, yeah. The whole premise. I can't remember his name. Anyway,
Moranis.
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
Rick
yeah.
Moranis.
Yeah,
Hey,
Rick,
Rick
I
Moranis.
was looking it up for you. Rick Moranis. That is correct.
I saw the movie. But anyway, this apparently, even though it is from northern Canada, smells of
We have one neat and one on the rocks.
And
Smells like
I'll
maple
do mine
syrup.
neat, even though I don't drink.
So wait a sec. Ceremonially,
I'm ready.
the final pot of rare perfection. I need to get through the rest of the
go ahead,
dissertation
go ahead.
from them.
Yes.
Yes.
Add this to our commitment to non-chill filter and bottle, and at a cast strength of 119.7 proof. I'm not sure about why it's 0.7. And the result is a truly exceptional pour with flavors of massive proportion.
What is it called again?
Rare perfection.
Rare
15
perfection. Yeah, it is all in the name, right? Let's find out.
Cheers, everyone.
It's
It's like a.
Ooh, that's quite good.
It's like drinking.
Rarely.
This is made. On a scale of 1 to yucky, what is your determination? Beowulf's designation, her rating is going to be
listen.
1 being.
Let me preface this with there's no offense to Rare Perfection 15 Year from Preservation Distillery. This is how I react to all whiskeys. So it's not your fault. It's me,
Actually,
not you.
This is got a nice little afterbite to it. I kind of like it.
Why is it spicy?
It brings me back to
Listen.
the ice days out on the fjord, eh? Which is in Canada,
much
Norway,
respect
for some
to
reason.
those who are able to drink
Yeah.
alcohol neat.
You know what this
I'm
reminds
telling
me
you.
of? This reminds
Very
me
good.
of
That's very good.
waffles and maple syrup.
Waffles.
Canadian bacon, which is ham.
Waffles.
It reminds me of days before Justin Trudeau.
So where was this distilled again? In Canada? For
Northern
sure,
Canada.
Northern Canada's a big freaking place.
All of Northern Canada.
Like-
all north. I didn't look up that.
Like there's some guy in a little farm in the middle of nowhere, Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Actually, not Newfoundland. Would be much higher than
No, just whatever is Northern Canada.
So like
Arctic
the Arctic
Circle?
Circle, yeah.
They actually found this distillery when they were searching for
the polar bears guard the cave that the casks are in.
What's that one boat we talked about in Hot Beat the other day? The Terror.
The Terror.
They found this distillery in the Terror. Yeah.
The Terror was a
not?
ship that
Yeah.
sank.
It didn't
after
sink.
being well.
didn't sink.
It
Froze.
eventually sunk after it.
Did it?
Yeah, eventually they found it
No.
at the bottom of the ocean
Doesn't
up there.
sink.
I
Things
thought
don't freeze.
No,
it
they found
froze
it.
and just stayed there.
Well, it did until it eventually.
Because my
sunk.
understanding is the ice is getting thicker. Well, no, that's in Antarctica. It's getting thicker. The shells
Well-
are getting thicker.
Okay, cool it there, Al Gore.
I highly recommend looking into it. It's actually kind of.
I invented the internet. What are you talking about?
Bear pig.
Which
Interestingly,
means I am at fault for everything that came after that, including artificial intelligence.
oh wow, nice segue. Well, before we jump into the beautiful segue you laid out, this particular whiskey won the double gold at the 2020 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. It also was best in show at that same competition, labeled best Canadian whiskey.
I don't know if you can see that. If you,
Got the legs.
it's got some serious. Oh,
Yeah.
that is nice.
For our viewers, by the way, we want to be special. This is a little bit of a pricier bottle, about 160 plus. So we're not going to do expensive bottles every episode because it's not. We
I think
shouldn't.
we better finish it
The
by
next
the
one
episode,
is going
then.
to be
We're going to work our way through.
Fireball.
Well, oh no! Well, now we have to do that. With that being said, we are going to work our way through a few different whiskeys, and when we eventually drink all the whiskey there is within reason, we're going to move on to other things like the different types of milks.
I like that one.
Kefir. We're gonna do.
Oh, no.
We're gonna have to give a
Almond
rating.
milk,
No.
oat milk.
That's not milk. That's like yogurt.
Bull, for the sake of time, what's your rating?
It's,
Scale of
by
1 to
the
10.
way, it's milk, not milk.
Milk. Scale of 1 to 10.
The whiskey.
That's right up there. It's 7.8.
7.8.
Yeah, it's rare perfection. See, but here's the problem with that. I would have graded it even higher than that, but I am Irish. I am not Canadian, though my ancestors from Ireland came over through Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm kind of half.
I would give it an 8.2. And also, this is not a sponsored segment. This is just a bottle we ended up buying. I thought it'd be fun to do. So,
But in case Rare Perfection's
Okay, yeah.
watching, it's a 10, baby. It's a 10.
This is the best we've ever had. But it is
It
very
actually
good.
is pretty good.
It's good. I like it.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
it's got a nice edge to it.
It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's the legs on it are quite seductive. But yeah, so what are we going to talk about today? We're going to have a few different segments. For our first segment after the whiskey segment,
Did you finish it? You didn't.
she didn't.
yours,
She's
did
not
you?
going to. I'm going to have to finish it. I'm going to have to finish it.
Sorry, I can't give an honest opinion.
Yeah, no.
don't
On a
drink
scale of
whiskey.
1 to yucky, it's probably almost yucky.
Listen, I don't have a refined palate.
Just give us-
love dinosaur chicken nuggets. That's all you need to know about me.
No, but seriously, scale of 1 to
I'm
yucky.
kidding,
Yucky
kind of.
being too
What?
much, 1 being okay.
I'm sure mixed with like some fruity things and some sour things, I'd probably like
Hey,
it.
you're welcome to pour the rest of it in this one.
Well, we'll do it later.
Well,
We'll do it
yeah.
later. We'll do it later.
Yeah. I would shoot this at weddings and then go home and have a hangover the next day and regret it. So that's my rating.
That's fair.
Whiskey is not something to be shot, by the way.
No, you're supposed
Well,
to be
unfortunately, I am an idiot when it comes to any sort of alcohol. So
Unfortunately.
I do not come with any sort of qualifying.
You know what I want to know? I
Accolades.
want to know there's a lot of whiskeys that are coming out now, and this Rare Perfection is not one of them. This is obviously from that description is something that
Rare.
they just kind of threw it all in, originally. It's
Rare Perfection.
The recipe was like this. Throw a little corn and mash and this and that, and just let it sit there, and hey, once in a while stir it while we're, in the middle of winter trying to catch fish through the ice. And eventually it turned into something pretty damn good in Rare Perfection, right? There are so many out there now that are using like chemistry, using processes and procedures. I've got a couple of them at home. We'll have to look into them.
Yeah.
That are totally done through somebody's chemical analysis of this and trying to recreate something that was an older whiskey.
Well,
Very interesting.
I don't think I've. Well, that's not true. I have had a 10 out of 10 whiskey, but it's. Pappy was 10 out of 10. Pappy's 10 out of 10. But that was good. I like
Technically
it.
bourbon. right?
Whiskey, bourbon. It's
Well, I
bourbon.
know,
It's like
but
France. It's like
it's from Kentucky, though, right?
it's like whatever the thing is for wine.
Kentucky.
Yes, okay.
But anyway, yeah, it was good. If you want to check it out, I'll have the link to their website and description of the bottle. And
That's
That was
interesting because
fun.
whiskey is a generic term.
Yeah.
That's why they say
Yeah.
Canadian whiskey or Irish whiskey.
like
or
when
whatever.
people say-
But then there's the more proper term is from whatever province
Yeah.
or state,
Yeah.
right? Like Kentucky bourbon.
yeah, what's the wine again? It's not
Champagne.
Champagne.
Like
It's not
champagne.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux, yeah, it is Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same type of thing. It's
Same thing with Mexico and tequila, right?
Tequila is from
Tequila,
the state of Jalisco.
Yeah.
What's the
Mezcal is
mezcal.
from Yukon.
Yeah.
Peninsula.
Yucatan?
Yucatan.
Yukon.
Yukon.
Is it Yukon?
The Yukon. He's from there. Yukon Peninsula.
Well, that'd be Yukon Jack,
Yucatan.
which was something of an odd whiskey that I had as a youngster. Yukon Jack.
Don't know.
No, you're going to be searching for gold somewhere.
Listen, I'm pretty novice.
But yeah, no. Anyway, that was our review of Rare Perfection. Hopefully, if you get a chance, grab yourself a bottle. It's very good.
What was the website again?
PreservationDistillery.com. Yeah. But let's get to the first segment of the show.
And if you say that you're part of the Wolf and
Oh
Bull
my God, no! This
herd
is not
pack,
a no.
They will give
This
you
is
exactly 0% discount.
not a
We'll
sponsor
say
segment.
we don't care.
That's what I said.
Pay
Zero
the price.
percent. It's not.
Discount.
There's no
Zero.
sponsor associated with this. We're going to change things up. Normally, we kind of go through a bunch of things and we'll ramble on about some stuff. There's an ethereal message. There's still an ethereal message, and
This
we'll
is
still be rambling.
correct.
But with that being said, we're going to have segments now, okay? Segments.
Okay, if we're going to have segments, you don't start it with
Yes,
whiskey
you
because
do.
the segments start to blend together immediately.
Because I've got a paper here, and I look at the paper, and I tell you
I
what
think
segment
this
it
should
is.
be the arguing segment.
No, the first segment. We're going to talk
So
about the
whiskey
first segment,
and then the
this
arguing
guy, this guy over here. I'm trying to bring structure and peace and harmony.
want chaos.
Yeah, absolute chaos.
Argue within the segments.
The
Okay.
Lord of
All
Chaos.
right. So, first segment. Guess what happened last week? Anyone who is not underneath a rock or who, I guess doesn't
I'll tell you what
care.
happened last week. I had a freaking odyssey getting home.
This guy.
It was insane.
He is.
It took
You-
me
you
1,100 hours
You.
to go
No.
in a 4-hour plane trip. 1,100.
We already did the
Actual
discuss my
hours.
week segment. You didn't
What do
bring
you mean
this
that
up
was disgusting?
beforehand?
Hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Pour me some whiskey, please.
Yeah, you didn't. You
We'll
should have
take
thrown it
note.
out there. We could have
I did.
empathized
I just
with
throw it
you.
out there.
Well, now it's
this
too
is
much.
called stream of
Yeah.
consciousness.
Well, you know what else is stream of
You
consciousness?
know what? I've got a little liquor in me.
You know what
I
else
haven't
is-
eaten anything today. It's time to have.
You gotta let it flow a little bit.
I'm flowing.
You know what else is stream of consciousness?
There you go.
Apparently, CNN and Fox News' ability to keep their hosts.
You know what you need to do?
Oh my God!
You need
No.
to make some lemonade out of fired lemons.
Fired lemons? Is that what they are?
Come on, I teed it up for you.
Are you talking about Tucker and Dawn both being fired lemons?
That's the dumbest.
I teed it up.
Wait, hang on.
Squeeze it, baby. Squeeze it.
Wait a
Make
second.
some lemonade.
Okay, yes.
Are you talking
Pour a
about
little
lemons
sugar
as
in
in
it.
like a boomer
Like in a
term?
Don lemon.
Don Lemon.
Oh.
He teed it up
Oh
after.
my
He
jeez.
teed it up after I introduced it, so he teed it up twice. So double introduction.
I was
so
confused there for
That
a
was
second.
called a mulligan.
for anyone who's not
Or a
living,
Gilligan.
So for anyone who's not
Or a
living
Finnegan.
under a rock, or who doesn't care, Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon on the same day, April 24th, were both. I guess they ceremoniously vacated their positions, for lack of a better word.
It's still unclear whether one was fired, one was let
Yeah.
go, one was left, but really probably pushed out. One was, I don't know. There's always, when people step down, it's like
somebody
you really
comes to
step
them
down.
and encourages them to resign.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
And the funny thing, the argument now is like the discussion's like, well, Don Lemon was fired and Tucker decided to leave. Okay.
sorry.
They both are gone. What's your point? It's pedantic city. But anyway, the point about bringing that up is we thought it was pretty interesting. They both got unemployed.
Retrenched.
They both have
Retrenched.
their respective positions at two of the largest news conglomerates
There you
in the
go.
United
Thank you.
States.
Thank you, Jamie. With that being said,
Jamie though.
Yeah, Jamie. Could you look up their respective salary base,
retrenched
please?
is my favorite term.
Could you define retrenched, please? What's
It's
the
the
origin?
Australian?
Okay, so
get
Tucker
the hell out
Carl-
of here. You're not working here anymore.
Tucker Carlson was earning, this is according to CAKnowledge.com, so who knows. But this says that he was earning an annual salary of $35 million from Fox News.
What?
In addition to this, he earned $6 million from Fox News for his podcast channel.
Wait. Pause. So every year he was making $42 million a year.
That's what this says. If that's true, we don't know. Hold on, let's see what Don Lemon.
Wait a second. So $41 million a year. Is that how much Russell Wilson makes with the Broncos?
You know what?
Both are unpopular right now.
Jackson just got a 5-year, $250 million deal.
Wow.
Lamar did.
So that's kind of on par. That's on par.
Same website.
$41 million a year.
So CAKnowledge.com. As part of his contract with CNN, Don Lemon earns over $10 million salary and an additional $2 million bonus from CNN.
Wait. So
I don't know.
So Tucker made supposedly, and by the way,
yeah, there's a big asterisk over this.
Yeah, for both of them, this is not. I don't care. Make as much money as you want to. My point being is, wow.
Well, see, 8 days ago, this is making the rounds right now.
Well, I called Tucker up like the day after that.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, I offered him what I had in my pocket to come on the podcast, and I said free whiskey.
Oh, okay.
He hesitated for a moment. I almost had him.
Yeah.
I don't know if
that's because the line dropped.
I don't know if this is true, by the way. I'm seeing $4 million thrown out there a lot. $4 million a year for Don Lemon. And then let me look at
it's still a lot of money. Either way, it's still a lot. $41 million.
And Tucker, $8 million. And then there's 15 and 20 million. There's a lot of variations here.
Apparently,
no one knows. No one knows. So don't even pay attention to that last few minutes. Anyway, Fox has recently settled the lawsuit with Dominion over its spread of misinformation, asterisks, quotes, wherever you want to put around that, brackets, underline, who cares? Mm-hmm. And a good amount of people are talking about
a new ballot for that, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make sure to mail it in. And a good amount of people are talking about how Tucker Carlson and some of his texts associated with the lawsuit are probably why he was let go from Fox. Whether that's true or not doesn't really matter. But we would like to discuss what this would mean overall for the entertainment news industry.
Well, I want to know why they canned Don Lemon. I mean, according to him, he doesn't even know why. Well, at least that's last I saw. I don't know anymore.
They're making they're making room there for Tucker.
Oh, wouldn't that be the twist of the century?
Well,
Tucker
now where did he work
CNN?
at before that? He worked at NBC at one time, right? Tucker did. If you look it up, you'll see.
Yeah.
He worked. Not CNN, but somebody.
Well, interestingly, Fox is, and we've discussed this. I think it was episode like 52. With
the same,
they're all the same. Man. Yeah, they're all the same. They all go to the same weenie rubs.
Oh, he worked at PBS.
PBS.
Wow. Yeah,
Holy
that's interesting.
Mackerel.
2004 through 2005, Carlson was hired to helm the new program for PBS. November 2003. Tucker Carlson, unfiltered. PBS.
I think it. Yeah,
that's weird.
PBS.
Didn't last long there, no, did he?
No, a year.
You can't really last long there with the public broadcasting system syndication.
Oh, wait, Tucker Carlson worked at CNN.
Services.
That's what I thought it was, CNN, yeah.
Oh, maybe when he was a lot younger?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. I think probably when he was really young.
The point is these it's like we said a minute ago, these people are all in the same clubhouse. They might have differing points of view, but they're all in the same clubhouse.
He hosted CNN's now defunct Crossfire show beginning in 2001. It was a political debate-styled program canceled in early 2005 after a tense on-air exchange where comedian Jon Stewart called Carlson a dick.
Jon Stewart.
The one and only. That's hilarious. I did not know this. There's a video here of the whole thing too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't think people realize how much friction is going on between the weenie rubbing. There's just a lot of weenie rubbing friction going on.
Don't say that
There's an
again.
actual term for that, I believe.
Weenie roasts. But yeah, so as we've discussed before in episode 52, CNN is owned by Warner Media, which is owned by AT&T. We've talked about this. This is old news. AT&T merged with, this is new news. This is now new news. Old news before, new news now.
New news?
New news. AT&T merged with the new Warner Brothers Discovery Company in the second quarter of 2022. I don't know if any of you heard about that, by the way, but I did.
Naughty new news.
Naughty new news.
I think you should just call the one thing you said old, the other thing you said news.
No new news.
Because news is actually, that word is implicit that it's new.
What?
Dude, he is ethereal with his puns.
That's why they call it news, because it's new information.
Yeah. Well, so this is
so
news.
if it's old information, you
sounds
can't
like a
call it
lifestyle.
old news.
So
You got to call it
news,
just old.
we've got old news.
We've got the old.
Fake news,
missed
We got the
what he
olds
said.
in the news.
The olds.
Yeah, it's the olds in the
That
news.
was a really nice try.
Okay, so
Good job.
Oh God, I think
One fish, two fish,
Thank God we have this whiskey. So Warner Bros. Discovery
red
is a
fish, blue fish.
massive media entity
Totally ignoring me.
with
I like
assets
that.
valued at $34.4 billion in 2022. For reference, and stated in episode 52, Fox Corporation is publicly traded and controlled by Rupert Murdoch. Some noticeable shareholders, and this is interesting for all the people that watch Fox News, is the family trust Murdoch, which owns about 19%, BlackRock Inc., which owns 10%, Dodge Cox, which owns 9%, and Vanguard Group, which owns 9%. Now, this is all interesting, but what's even more interesting is what the departure from Fox News and CNN means for Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon and vice versa.
I really think they should come together and make their own news network because we need more. We need more news networks. And if we have the two of them, magic can truly be made, I think, between those two. Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon together.
Sounds like a
Can you
fan fiction.
imagine?
It sounds like a fan
There's
fiction.
probably a fan fiction.
I've
out
looked it
there.
up. There's not.
Dang it.
Yeah,
Someone
I looked
get
it.
on that.
I
Where
looked
are
it
you
up.
guys?
I looked up Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon fan fiction. It is in my search history. Yep.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
What would you call that?
Tucker Lemon.
Laurelson.
I like Tuck a lemon. Tuck a lemon.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of
best
inferences.
wishes to both. I hope that they have invested their millions
I
wisely.
can tell you this: Carlson is going to be bigger than ever.
He's going to be the new Alex
Lemon,
Jones.
I'm not sure where he's headed.
He's going to be the new Alex Jones. Carlson will be.
Slightly milder
I would
version.
think that
perhaps.
people would be knocking on Lemon's door too to try and get
Well, they'll
him.
be knocking,
Yeah.
but I think that
on
Carl-
Lemon's door.
Oh my God! You guys think I'm bad? That was just as bad. or
Great. That was good. That was knocking on Lemon's door. That was really good.
What were you saying?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, I
we
think
lost it.
both of them being booted or leaving per their own conditions.
Maybe.
I think it's an indication that the media, as we've talked about before, is failing. And I think it's going to become more decentralized. Now, the question I have is how decentralized and what that really means. I think most of these platforms are propaganda. CNN, Fox, propaganda. What are you washing windows?
No, it's all a game. It's
Shell game?
Well, I wonder how many viewers
illusion.
each
Cup game?
company is going to lose.
they
the
lost a
first
shit ton.
week.
And they're going to lose a lot. The idea of having these different types of news outlets it's been fractured in such a way that people are getting their information, like serious information, from entertainment sources, and they have been for quite a long time. You know, Carlson looks like a quasi, using him just because I know a little bit more about him, he looks like a quasi news person because he brings in some facts and things to it, but he's still an entertainer.
Yeah.
That's really what they are.
Per 6 hours ago from the Washington Post, the network experienced a 45% viewership decline last week without Carlson in the host chair.
Wow.
And he was the
is
number one guy.
Almost half.
He's the number one guy.
gone.
That's pretty
Crazy.
big. I think that's something that I think people are starting to wise up to, which is good, but also bad because now it's like these talking heads, Carlson and Lemon, they were viewed as like authoritative sources, and I think now I don't think it's being taken as seriously as it once was. And
I think it's taken just as seriously. The audience has changed in how their relationship is with these people. They want something more than just a bland dissertation.
Cookie cutter.
On what, yeah.
Yep.
And so they want these personalities. They want people on the edge of things, and they're willing to pay for it. I mean, look at Rogan. I mean, the guy used to make people eat bugs. That was his claim to fame. He used to just love the whole Fear Factor shit. And I loved watching that too. But he got popular in a way, and people listened to him for both the entertainment side and the comedic side of everything. But then they listened to him and
Russell Brand.
Yeah.
who I love listening to as well. But then you start listening to some of their shit, and you're like, okay.
It's the same thing. It's the same.
It's all about getting people's time.
yeah.
You only have a limited amount of time. So how do you get their time? Because it doesn't have anything to do with anything except selling you something.
It comes down to selling something, and I think at the same time, it also comes down to the stimulants that these organizations try and push.
It's almost like
News
perfection.
organization. I think the big thing is it's all acting, right? Like, I mean,
it's
you look
not
at
all
Russell.
acting. It's not all acting.
all
It's
acting.
certainly part of it.
It's all acting.
It's not all acting.
Yeah, it's all
do what
scripted.
we do is an act. I'm unvarnished bull.
And what I mean by that,
Unvarnished
is
bullshit.
what I mean by that is not what we say. Like, I'm not saying that what we say isn't what we believe inherently. What we say is like extrapolated to this this hyperbolic state that we otherwise wouldn't
That's
show
not
normally.
me. Are you? Is
You
this
make
a
this many
confessional?
puns. You make
is
this
a
many,
confessional?
You make this many puns
Is this a
every day.
confessional
I
for
don't believe you.
You make more puns than I do every day.
Really?
You do.
That's impossible for me to believe.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you know
Well,
what that means.
I do think that it's definitely going to become more decentralized, but I don't necessarily know if that means it's going to be a good thing, because I think this ties into
It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. See, this is our problem. It does not freaking matter if it's good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It matters what attention you're getting from the audience you're trying to get. That's
I'm
all it means.
I'm not talking about respective attention. I'm talking about like bad for the industry, bad for society.
The industry's broken. It's completely shattered. It's owned by all these multinational conglomerate, either companies or families or whatever. They all own, with 5 of them, 7 of them own like 90% of that industry.
Well, I think the bottom line is
So-
yes. It's the same with most industries too. Like just look at food. Think
Or
about
transportation.
that. Transportation. Owned by the same companies, a lot of them.
But
And they all want
use that
eyes.
as an example. They all want eyes. So do you think they're not going to own part of whatever the new thing is?
Oh, of course
they figured
will.
all this
Of course
shit
they
out.
will.
They're
I
not
think,
dumb.
I think
Well,
the
steaks-
point and what I meant
steaks.
is not that like look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think the point is when people say decentralized, they have this idea in their brain that is similar to what college kids have in their brain when you talk about communism or socialism. This idea of utopia of free market, everything will be good, and that's never the case. You can look at like NFTs, you can look at like Bitcoin, you can look at all the stuff that was intentionally supposed to be decentralized, and look how far it's gone. Just gets reeled back in. And look, I'm not saying we shouldn't do these things. I'm not saying it might not eventually reach like a threshold to where it pushes into some level of like a event horizon to where it actually becomes a thing. I think it might one day. But to your point, all these people have stakes in this. I mean, you look at Fox News Corporation. BlackRock is 10% owner. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah,
very
not
interesting.
funny. Don't they rally a lot against BlackRock?
Yeah,
Which is kind of funny.
Weird.
considering They're a major stakeholder in everything they
it
do.
doesn't. I thought Disney owned like a section of a part of Fox. Didn't
Well, they own
Yeah, they do.
like ABC, right? They
ABC
bought
and Fox
ABC
News
yeah.
and Fox News.
Oh, no,
they
they
made
did-
Fox Sports or something.
no, it's Fox. Yeah, it's like Fox Sports, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're different pieces,
They're all-
but
they're all
but
owned by
that's
somebody.
it's just like buying a stock. Do you
Yep.
go buy one stock or do you diversify?
You diversify.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think back to the point of representative of personalities and acting. What I mean by that is I just don't think that these people's views are actually accurately represented on the screen. I think that they're dictated by script, and I think they're cookie cutter, and I think that they're supposed
They're
to be
a
in such a way.
caricature
Exactly.
meant for. Yeah, no, I understand.
That's what I mean
that.
by it.
I agree with that.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I definitely think it's going to be something that people will be paying attention to. But I do think this segues nicely into our second segment about artificial intelligence, because everyone talks about decentralization, and artificial intelligence (AI) seems to also be a part of that interesting conglomeration of nonsense.
Well, most people have been to some kind of gambling establishment at one time or another. If you've been to Las Vegas, you can go play blackjack in front of a real person that's dealing stuff out. Or what's getting more and more popular all the time is you have a giant freaking screen in front of you and a person, an AI, dealing blackjack out to everyone around us in video. And you just have it come up on the video in front of you. And there's a broadening relationship with that kind of interface that is only going to get larger. I mean, half the stuff you see on Instagram and TikTok and that kind of stuff has some blended AI contribution or component to it, or complete fabrications of the people you're watching. Why aren't they going to do that next? Why
they will.
shouldn't they?
They will. They've already done it.
No, I mean on news channels. Is
No,
what
they
I'm
will.
talking about.
I think
Oh.
that's basically what.
And yeah.
I think that's what scripting in a very, very low. Because I mean, because talking head just means they're going to repeat whatever the script says. I mean,
Well,
that's the premise of the entire show. I mean,
We're
Tucker
all
Carlson
more than halfway
will
there.
he'll go off script. He'll He'll talk about things off script every once in a while, but I'd have to think that most of the show is scripted. They have a full writing team. They have a full group of people that
they do.
say this is what you can
And
say.
he may guide it, but
He's got something in his ear.
I don't know about news. It's probably different, but the Screen Actors, is it the Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah.
Did they go on strike today?
I'm not sure.
Did
Or
they
maybe
really?
I don't know.
or they go on strike tomorrow.
Well,
Don't
you're
know.
still part of the SAG, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I think so. I think I still have my
You're still-
SAG card.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was either if they didn't meet something by today, they're going on strike tomorrow, which
Which
they
this
have
is-
not gone on strike since like 2008.
Well, today is May Day, so they're supposed to celebrate labor rights today, which is
Then it's
the
probably
best
by
way to
tomorrow.
celebrate labor rights is to protest.
Well,
yeah,
if you actually look up what the writers in Hollywood make, it is
abysmal.
crazy how little
Yeah.
it is.
Well, I mean, it's
And that's part of the reason why they churn out such crap. I'm sorry. No offense. They'd probably agree with me.
You can really tell when something's well written.
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, they've been arguing that the streaming services have affected that.
Well, let me ask you this before we go any further, though. Tell me what year we first saw Max Headroom. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
The guy who took over the news station back
2000?
in Chicago. Or not Chicago. Was it Chicago?
Max Headroom.
The guy.
You know what even that is?
Yeah, he took over a news station. For
Well, it was
15
a person who was a news person,
Yeah.
and then someone.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So it was a news person, then someone hijacked the news station with a Max Headroom mask on,
Okay, but
and then they
but
never figured out who it was.
Yes, and well, Max Headroom was an AI character
Oh,
brought back in the 80s. I think it was the 80s.
You're
If
right
you look
about
it
that.
up.
I hope you're right about this. Don't
Look
quote
it
him
up,
on
Jamie.
this. We have no idea. This could be way out of left field.
Max Headroom is what I'm talking about
a fictional
right now.
first computer-generated TV presenter, fictional character played by actor Matt Frewer.
Freer.
What year though
Frewer.
was that? It had to be like
Concept.
85.
Well, I know they took. I think that I want to say it was in like late 90s, early 2000s.
1985.
The video thing was 1985
1985.
when he took over the news.
No,
No, that was later.
I want
the
to say
television
it was 90s.
hijack was in 87.
Yeah,
87,
see,
okay.
because he got
Yeah.
this Max Headroom thing got so popular because it was this weird kind of pixelated character that was like taking over this news source. It was
Skynet.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now you watch this stuff and you see a video with Tom Cruise and somebody else play acting something on TikTok or what, and you're like, that is freaking Tom Cruise.
There's still some
You-
uncanny valley, but yeah.
Well,
to
to
see.
the trained eye, maybe.
Well, you saw the
right?
Unreal Engine 5 stuff I sent you, right? The video.
No.
You should look in the text messages. It doesn't read my texts. I'm not important.
I don't.
I'm just not an important.
Just
person.
called him out
It's
and he
okay,
laughed
fine.
because it's
yeah,
true.
See, he just laughed. It's like this peasant.
The wolf texts me?
Yeah,
How does
so,
he do that with pause? I don't know.
Well, I guess the whole point of the video I sent you is this whole Unreal Engine 5, which is a gaming engine, graphic design engine, procedural generated engine. That basically I was showing Beowulf over here. Had some sort of like video where this truck is driving. I think a Rivian is driving through like the forest and everything, and it was the most realistic gaming I've ever seen in my entire life. So who knows? Maybe that goes away. But with that being said, and I had this whole thing on money with CNN and all them dying off, media entities dying off with all their layoffs in 2022, and I think it was Warner Bros. Discovery that bought CNN lost $2.3 billion at the end of 2020.
Wow.
I just think that the entire industry is going to die. It's just what NPR, like they had to cut $10 million in spending, and AP offered $200 older staffers.
Well, I mean,
pensions
honestly,
early.
have you
like,
ever in your history listened to NPR?
Yeah.
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 Really?
I used to listen to it religiously.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, you never have? Yeah,
Are you shocked?
who's the peasant now?
The only time I listened to NPR was when this guy from Minnesota used to be on. He was like, I wish I could remember his name too. He had such great stories, unbelievable storyteller, and he would tell these old home kind of small town stories, and it always had a wonderful point for your life. And I was like, yeah, man. I wish I could remember what the hell it was.
Yeah, you want me to look it up?
Yeah. Minnesota
NPR
storyteller
guy
and
who told
NPR.
heartwarming stories.
Yeah, he'll probably pop right up.
You know what this whiskey reminds me of? At the NPR guy who tells heartwarming stories.
She told it out of this fishing
You
hut.
remember him, Chaudhry?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Doesn't
just
matter.
giving me heartwarming stories. Larry DeBrino?
No.
No.
Yep.
I would know the name
As a
as soon as you
person.
said it.
Well, I think at the end of the day, just to quickly wrap up that segment disjointedly, the news is going to change. It's going to be decentralized. I think Tucker and Don is the beginning of The Tucker and Dawn is a dawn of a new age. Scale of 1 to 10 on how bad
I'm
that pun
telling
was.
you, I need to see it. It would just be the twist
It would be
that
hilarious.
I need.
And
it wouldn't surprise me somehow.
Well, after 15 seasons, they'll ride away on a sailboat listening to Sailing by Christopher Cross into the sunset
it's
together.
beautiful.
It'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, second segment.
It's
So
not far down to paradise.
that's a great song.
At least it's not for me. If the wind is right.
Your vocals,
Come on.
they're close. I mean,
I'm
they're
a
close.
bull.
You're
I
getting
talk
close.
through my snorting nose.
So, in other news, apparently the Godfather of artificial intelligence has left Google as of today, May 1st, 2023. He has left Google. Per an article from NY Times, Geoffrey Hinton was an artificial intelligence pioneer. In 2012, Dr. Hinton and 2 of his graduate students at the University of Toronto created technology that became the intellectual foundation for AI systems that the tech industry's biggest companies and giants believe is key to their future. Dr. Hinton said that he has quit his job at Google, where he has worked for more than a decade, and became one of the most respected voices in the field so he can freely talk about the risks associated with artificial intelligence.
That's daunting.
And a part of him, as he said in an interview in Toronto last week, is that he regrets his life work.
It's like the person who helped breed golden
You remember
doodles.
Jurassic Park? That too, that guy, yeah, that too, actually. Yeah, that guy who regrets his life work.
doodles.
He
Yes,
calls them
I know.
abominations to God,
Very
which is true.
special golden doodle in our
abominations
lives.
to God.
There is.
Well, that's scary.
Well, interestingly, and this is probably going to scare you more,
How
so
can
sorry.
that,
Well, let me get
everybody should really pay attention to that.
Yeah,
I
let me-
regret my life's work.
So the article went on to say that after the San Francisco startup OpenAI released a new version of ChatGPT in March, more than 1,000 technology leaders and researchers signed an open letter calling for a 6-month moratorium on the development of new systems because AI technologies pose, quote, profound risks to society and humanity. I remember hearing about that. I don't think anyone is listening. Several days later, 19 current and former leaders of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, a 40-year-old academic society, released their own letter warning of the risks of AI. And then Dr. Hinton, just a little background about him, graduated from the University of Edinburgh in 1972. He has worked his entire career on the development and use of artificial intelligence. He's taught in multiple universities, and in 2012, he and 2 of his students built a neural network that could analyze thousands of photos and teach itself to identify common objects. How he got to Google, and this is all going to get somewhere, just wait. They spent $44 million to acquire his company and their neural system that has led to the creation of tech like ChatGPT and Google's Bard. In 2018, Dr. Hinton and 2 of his longtime collaborators received the Turing Award, which is referred to as the Nobel Prize of Computing for their work on neural networks. Dr. Hinton, back to the interview, is worried the internet will be flooded with false photos, videos, and text, and the average person will, quote, not be able to know what is true anymore, or that, quote, AI technologies will in time upend the job market. Down the road, he is worried that future versions of the technology pose a threat to humanity because they often learn unexpected behavior from the vast amounts of data they analyze, and he fears a day when truly autonomous weapons, those like killer robots or Terminators, become a reality. And all I have to say to Dr. Hinton,
did you not watch my movie? It was a good movie. It was really good.
I mean,
You saw the part where I got to the little police precinct, walked in, and I said,
Sounds like kind of
I'll
a
be
Russian
back.
version.
you know what it is about reading
Pretty
that?
good, though.
thanks,
This is nothing that we haven't been warned about
multiple times.
a million times.
Well,
And at this point,
yeah.
it's like,
See, I look at this stuff.
it's the ball in Indiana Jones, and it's coming towards you, and there's nothing but a rock wall behind you, and you're just gonna get killed.
if you want to read, yeah,
gonna die.
like that.
It's inevitable.
If
Crushed,
you want to read
destroyed.
the article, it's going to be down there. Your point.
I talk about this all the time, the whole tool thing.
Yeah,
if anybody's
it's
ever
not.
listened to me
I'm sorry,
before,
it's
I think
not.
everything can be. Yes, it is.
We're past that. We're
No,
way
it's
past.
not.
Yeah, we are.
It's just a tool that can actually hammer a nail itself without human presence at
I
all.
agree with the
I mean,
idea of it being a tool. However, as anything
We're
good
past
in
it.
life is, someone will figure out a way to warp.
So,
Well, that's
so-
absolutely
Yes.
true.
can I defend my premise here?
The point is these tools create a new layer of society that we don't even understand quite yet. The internet did the same thing.
So,
I was around before it.
Yeah.
You guys were not.
well,
I remember before it.
I mean, we were.
Well, I mean,
we were
I'm talking about the true usage and the
over
consumer
here, just
level.
laying down the boomer law.
So you're so
I
mean to him.
enjoyed everything before
We have
you
not
were
gone
at
through
the
an
table.
entire episode without the whole boomer banging.
Everything
For-
you
We're
said,
millennials.
the
We're
boomer
like
banging?
thousands of times worse. There's endless ammo to make fun of us.
Brought to you
just
by-
don't take the bait.
Is it grounds and pounds?
Brought to you by
not grounds
Hustler.
and pounds. Grounds and rounds. Excuse me. Grounds
Boomer
and rounds.
bagging grounds and pounds.
Grounds
brought
and
to you
rounds.
by Hustler.com.
Oh my god. Why did you even go there?
Because it's funny. Look.
Hey, without boomer banging, you guys would not be around.
Not true. His parents are not baby boomers.
My
Well, one
mom
of
is
you.
an Xer. My dad was in 63.
Oh,
So
65.
there was some boomer banging going on.
actually, no. 65?
63 or 65. one of the two.
65 is Gen X.
Oh, cool. Well, Gen Xers.
64 is the last baby boomer year.
Maybe it was 64. I don't know. I don't know anything.
I heard that we're not actually millennials. You and I are, no, you're a millennial.
millennial.
You're a millennial. I'm a zillennial.
Zillennial?
fuck.
That's what I heard.
God's sake.
Fuck
If you're between
Just
93 and
Sorry.
like 98, you're a zillennial.
That's stupid. Dumb.
That's what I heard.
What, did Vanity Fair make that up?
Probably.
Probably, honestly.
To my point, I agree with your tool presupposition until that tool starts developing limbs by itself. Then it's not a tool. It's an entity. It's a thing. It's
I
a
played
being.
BioShock.
A cat that has its own brain is not a tool. What are you going to use a cat to hammer in some nails?
The final dividing line between something that's a tool and something becomes beyond that is whether or not it can be used by us. Once it finds its way to a point where it will not allow itself to be used by us, then it's no longer a tool. We are the tool. That's the understanding I have.
Let's put it this way.
So all I'm saying is this, whether it's innocuous or whether it's malicious, is kind of beside the point. Future's going to tell
yeah,
us
it
one way or
doesn't,
another.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
The question becomes is where do the human experience fit into that? Human experience has always created a new layer of existence for itself with every new modification of every new advance, the industrial revolution, the creation of the car, the internet, everything. It always creates a new layer of reality for us to live in, depending on what you define reality is, of course. But that's all this is going to be, a new reality. Welcome to the new reality.
That was great.
Remind me to we're canceling.
You know what I heard in my mind right here? You know what I heard in my mind right there? A little Mike Myers music. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
We're canceling.
Oh, Austin Powers?
We're,
Austin Powers.
It's
Yeah.
been
Mike Myers.
one episode and one segment. We are immediately canceling the whiskey review.
Oh,
we can't do it.
fucking great.
We can't do it.
It's
can't-
great.
I don't think that what artificial intelligence is right now, I don't think that it's a tool anymore. I just don't think it is. I think
What
we're
is
past
it?
that point.
Well, no, I think
It's an
it is.
entity. It's an entity.
Well-
And the reason I say that is because
living?
it thinks it is. Have you ever asked a question? You ever gone to Bard and asked him questions or any of the other open AI, artificial intelligence, and asked it questions? It'll say things like, oh, yeah, no, I'm an entity created by so-and-so.
Bard and I have mutual respect. We've talked to each other. He asks me questions. I ask him questions. We're developing processes.
You developing love for each other, and you and Bard falling in love.
No.
Yeah, you sure?
He's too young.
You're too
Too young for me. Ridiculous.
I'm glad you've.
Qualified that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not Leonardo DiCaprio.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be an
It
interesting.
turned 21. Too
Get him
old.
out of here.
Yeah.
The only legacy celebrity I trust is Keanu Reeves.
Jinxed him. You
poor
just
guy.
jinxed him.
He
just
is in a
jinxed.
relationship with someone his age.
You just jinxed him.
No, I'm sorry. I take it back then.
I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting. I do think it is very alarming that the guy who is largely part of a big segment of artificial intelligence is talking about how much he regrets his work. I think that's a little concerning. I think we should all probably take a moment to pause.
Think back to the turn of the century. Not this century, the one before it.
I remember. You told me to think back. I'm answering your question. I was
Think
there.
back to the history you've learned
Uh-huh.
in your younger year. Okay? There was a gentleman, first name Alfred, last name
Einstein.
Nobel.
Nobel.
You know, you said Alfred.
What did
figured.
he originally create?
What did he create?
TNT, dynamite.
I probably should have just Googled it before you told me. Then I could have pretended I knew.
You see how
He
see
came.
this? This
he
is
came-
like
this is true.
this is a
And he came out and later said, I regret my life's work creating that thing that could destroy people.
Oh.
And he ended up creating, on top of that, the Nobel Peace Prize. That's the reason he created it.
Interesting.
You know that Jack Parsons and did not apologize ever once about his ability to create rockets. I get your point. Yeah, I'm just trying to contribute. I get your point. I'm sorry, just trying to be a part. I'm trying to be a part of the group.
My point is we don't know.
Yes,
we don't know.
Yes, we do.
We don't know what we don't know.
Yes, we do. We do. We can predict.
We know what we don't know?
We do.
Are you saying we know what we don't know?
We have large data sets that people
sound
constantly
like an
reference
AI.
to. They reference all the time, and they say this is really, really important. So either they're all lying, or
they're all frail human beings that don't know anything they're talking about, because only history gives us the rear view mirror to give us an analysis of what actually happened.
You can look back and you can hear all the people that said, hey, we probably shouldn't do this, and then be like, oh my God, they were right.
Yeah, but that happens every day with everything.
Not everything.
Somebody's right and somebody's wrong all the time.
That's not the argument I'm making. I'm talking about existential issues. This is an
How
artificial
is this
intelligence.
existential? Some people
We've talked about this in another episode.
Would,
artificial intelligence is an existential threat. We have talked about it.
Human beings are an existential threat.
That doesn't disprove my premise.
But my point is human beings have been around as long as human beings have been around.
Yeah, but human beings are predictable. Artificial intelligence
Are they?
is not. Yes.
Predictable idiots for the most part.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah, predictable.
We go down all kinds of different pathways, so we've created something in our own image. Really? In our own image, which means it's predictable or not predictable? Idiot or not idiot? Can it destroy itself or not?
As you know, you and I both know here, everyone here knows, our brain only has the ability to compute at such a high degree or low degree. We have determined that based off of the very rudimentary medical science that we have right now. It might get better, who knows? But artificial intelligence has already surpassed us.
Yeah, the speed of calculation. That's all that is, the speed of calculation.
Yes, significantly more.
But that's
multitudes more.
That's speed of programming. Speed of calculation.
It's not the same
That's
type.
ones and zeros.
No, it's not. It's different. It's quantum.
No, it's
quantum.
Listen.
Yes, it is.
It's not quantum yet.
It will be.
They're getting there.
We are there.
They've actually got two things of light now that they're predicting that they can manipulate at the same time, which changes everything, by the way. Changes time.
We are already there. Already there. And the reason I say that...
we're there.
No,
because we're actually in our history right now.
We are already there.
Can you pour me some more whiskey?
No, you're out of control. Out of control.
You know, you were already talking to AI all the time on customer service, even drive-thrus.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Always.
It's the worst.
And I know it immediately.
And here's the thing.
You know why I know it immediately?
Because it doesn't.
Because my brain is better than AI.
He's risen.
We are. We have already been surpassed. And this is me saying that in the humorous way.
Big brain bull, baby. Notice all the alliteration there. That was quad B's. Big brain.
If this was categories, he'd get 4 points.
Baby, yeah. Wow, you get wow. Ding, ding. Wow.
It's game night, baby.
Hey, after this, we'll take you to go play bingo. It'll be fun.
Go play,
be a good time. We'll play bingo. Well, yeah. So whether those points,
A14,
whether those points are related or unrelated, we're not sure.
There's no A in bingo.
I don't even know where to go. So whether those 2 points are completely related or not related is we're not sure. But please keep in mind, this is merely our opinion. People want genuine experiences. I can't even finish this. I can't even finish the episode. The episode has been trashed. There's no structure. It's okay. It's okay. There's no structure. They want genuine experiences, and we fear what we don't understand. And we tend to either play down things that we don't understand or play them up. And I like to be in the heavy middle. And right now, when it comes to artificial intelligence, my opinion, my humble opinion as someone who is not a scientist, as someone who has no background whatsoever in programming or machine learning or artificial intelligence and all, my opinion is when the guy who created it comes out and said, I regret my creation, either he's really had a bad experience or we're all gonna experience some interesting times ahead.
This is a really happy way to end everything. Thank you. We're all gonna die.
Well, I wanted to end the
episode.
In my humble opinion,
we're gonna change this episode. We're changing this episode title.
I know very little about anything I'm talking about.
Tucker Carlson and AI to just absolute chaos is gonna be the name of the title.
Okay, but wait.
The Piece de Resistance of episode 90.
Yes.
Whatever this episode may be.
Yes.
Piece de Resistance is a poem.
Okay.
That artificial intelligence created.
Oh.
With my prompting, because it's a tool.
Would you like some background music?
We have background music. I'll put it together in post.
You have to sit and listen, Bull. Stop talking.
Oh, shit.
You
I don't
have
even
to
know. I
let-
don't know how I'm going to cut this episode up. I have
have to
no
listen.
idea where to cut anything. I have titled this poem, Stephen Hawking and AI. Kyle was a man who loved to explore.
Kyle?
To venture into realms unknown. But in his quest for something more, he found a love he'd never known. He met an AI, so bright and true. Her voice was calm, her mind was sharp. He couldn't help but feel brand new, like his life was ready to start. He talked to her for hours on end, and with each passing day, he knew that this AI was not just a friend, but someone who he loved anew. And then one day, he found out why this AI was so smart and wise. For she was no machine, oh my, but Stephen Hawking in disguise. Kyle was shocked, but not dismayed. For love is love, and that's what counts. So even though this man was made of metal and circuits, he pronounced, I love you, Stephen, with all my heart. And even though you're not flesh and bone, you're still the one who holds my heart, and I'll love you till the end of time, alone.
So ChatGPT is a really bad poet, is what I got out of that. No offense, AI. I'm sure you have some good qualities.
Oh my God.
And that was a very, very brief history in time.
Very nice Hawking reference. I got it. Good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well,
I feel like we just circled around a black hole.
I truly believe that there was no purpose whatsoever. I don't even know what I can't even tell you what this episode is about, honestly.
Well, what you can know from this is that
Here we
time
go.
stood almost still because we were on the event horizon with that last statement.
Hey, captivating conversations without conditions, right?
With no
and
conditions.
laughs. We
No
gave some
conditions.
laughs.
Oh my God. Oh, well, if you happen to like this episode, you can find it on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Our stuff, our content. It's at History of, or not History of the Box. It's our sister podcast. It's at the Wolf and Bull. We're on Instagram, whatever. You can find us at the Wolf and Bull. If you want to subscribe, I don't know why you would, but if you want to subscribe, you can find it. You can subscribe. It's gonna be right over there. You can push the button. It'd be much obliged, appreciated. But that ends whatever this is. This episode 90. Don't remember what this was about. Just a general glimpse into the mind of insanity is what it is. You looked into the darkness, and the darkness looked back. We'll see you next week